Moi, Sumi, and hello Eurovision fans, and hallo Deutschland. Erika Vikman has come, or rather she is coming with the song Ich Komme. She is here to celebrate pleasure and empowerment in her entry for Uuden Musiikin Kilpailu 2025. Devon!
Hey you guys! Hey William!
Are you ready to talk about it?
Let's do this!
You guys, based on this photo, this thumbnail, our girl is living for the honey. Unclear if it is organic, but I suspect it will be orgasmic. This is what she had to say about her song. Quote, "In this song, you take control. Everything related to your sexuality is in your own hands. Pleasure should not be taboo." And I suspect she's gonna show us that real quick. All right, hitting play.
Oh.
Tell us who you are, yes. Oh.
It's gonna be flesh, isn't it? Wow.
That is a flesh pot. Giving body in pleather.
This is a visual feast.
Okay, lots of sticky, gooey,
What is that?
honey, or other bodily fluid.
It's like an oil slick. Liquid gold!
This is,
It's usually in vapor form, actually.
it's like the gates of heaven. Or hell. Oh, she likes that taste. It must be acacia honey. This is an invitation. She's like, come eat. Wunderbar indeed.
It's a very expensive visual production.
Queen of the night. There's real elegance in this sexuality. I am Erika, you're full of stamina. Hit me once again, grab my ass.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. She's coming.
I am coming.
She is coming, she
you know
says.
What? This is just pure lust, isn't it?
They're gonna have such soft skin. Honey is enriching. She loves it, lapping it up. Very body confident.
Wow.
This feels like a stadium show right now, like an arena. This is getting bigger. Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh god, it looks like she's writhing in honey as well.
This is a nice transition.
So many, the imagery is so powerful.
This is a nice transition. Yes. I'm pregnant. I feel pregnant.
This is Finnish, right? But actually it also sounds like English.
Oh, that
yeah.
was head through the legs.
Racing to a climax. Keep thrusting.
This is a climax. A very steady build. Oh, girl, she's convulsing.
Oh, I love this bit.
Hey, baby.
KOMME.
Well, let's get physical. Oh, wow. That ended very abruptly. She was having a full-on body convulsion, and then it cut out. I guess we could not see what was coming next. The post-coital adventure. This is a lot to take in, no pun intended. It's just a lot to process. Okay, first thoughts. I love the golden coloring. I love the hue, the shades here. I think that yellow, golden hour, sort of a time of change, a time of magic, in this instance, a time of multiple orgasms. That's what the color scheme was giving. It was sensual, but it was also not overpowering. They could have gone the cheaper route, like more red light district, neon, sultry, but instead they made this less, it is raunchy, but it's elevated raunch. It was like an avant-garde, high art take on the down and dirty, if that makes sense. God, I hope they had the air conditioner on, because if that was real honey and they had on the heat, our girl would caramelize. She would crystallize in that sugar, creme brulee from that body heat. Yes, all of this just to say, this has great potential for the Eurovision stage. I feel like we've been dipped into like an audio-visual experience. If the other songs at UMK are more radio-friendly, this is the audio-visual, oral, if not oral, experience. It just feels bigger. It feels bigger than the radio, bigger than a stage. It's like immersive. Just like she was immersing herself in the honey, all of herself in the honey. I feel like you take yourself out of the like day-to-day and you're thrust into this, I don't know, not sex dungeon, this, not psychosexual, this sensual journey. Because we go from, I don't want to say boudoir, like Madam's boudoir, okay, we go from a high-end brothel to a sex dungeon to sort of the gates of heaven with the Ishkoma, to the stadium, to the arena tour. It just gives you everything. And that's why it's interesting. It's dynamic. It changes in surprising ways. Initially, I was intrigued visually, but with the music, I was like, is this extended foreplay? Can we get down to it? But it just progressed and kept progressing. And yeah, I was really won over in those 3 minutes. Can I also say it didn't feel like 3 minutes? It whizzed by. I'm not saying there was a premature ejaculation situation. I'm just saying it did not feel delayed. It did not feel labored. It felt smooth like honey.
And Jesus is Lord. There is a lot to unpack here, so let's not waste any time and dive right into it. First of all, I'm just going to start by saying, I don't know if the editors will keep this in, but I gotta speak my truth. So if you're under the age of 21, because I think at 21, all territories are like, they get it, right? Referring to the ending of this, you know when someone will go, oh, stop, don't come. And you stop. What happens? That is exactly what this video is doing. And quite often, that's the best climax. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it sweet. You know, Erika Vikman, what she has done all her life is extricate herself from the institution of marriage and from the values of, not marriage as such, but, you know, sexual liberation. You know, sex is just not for reproductive rights. There is pleasure to be had. And you know, pleasure should not be a thing of shame. Don't kink shame anyone. You know, celebrate diversity. Eurovision has been doing this all along. Grab your towels, come together. We are one. And we are united by what we see on our screens, girl. Do I like this? I love this. But there are also so many problems with it. First of all, it sounds like a combination of Fisher Spooner and a very camp version of Kylie Minogue, Your Disco Needs You. You know, it's that kind of fusion. It's those two sounds. On one hand, it's very kind of like 80s synth, you know, I'm trying to think of an example of, yeah, there's something very German about this actually. It's like what you would hear in some dungeon in Berlin. But at the same time, you know you just need to get a sensible DJ on it to give it mainstream appeal. So it's straddling that, right? But visually, the problems I have is that those girls are gorgeous. but the feminine energy is really sharply contrasted with the audio qualities of the song. So right, the KOMME, it's definitely men in the studio. You imagine actually, what are they called? Is it One Last Morning? No. You imagine the guys of One Morning Left in the studio, no windows, sweaty, almost like trampling, right? Creating that vocal. Now, I want that to transition visually as well. And then you've got a row of Miss Finland contestants with their feet dripping in, oil slick and honey. And, it is so removed from it. I would have just kept the audio. I would have allowed the audio to translate into the visual. I think that would have made it a lot stronger for me. Also, Erika can't dance. And, there's only so much you can do this for 3 minutes. And, I just feel like there should have been a bit more choreography. If you're going to invest that much money, and surely a lot of money has gone into the production of this track, because our girl is not the best singer. So a lot of money has gone into the production of the track, and a lot of money has gone into the visual treatment, then, get a few people to kind of put ideas together and make this a lot more cohesive. That was lacking for me. The climax was really a real surprise, because at one point I was kind of racing with her and then it suddenly stopped. And yeah, I kind of liked that. It was a very cliffhanger moment, but you know what? I felt complete, actually. Leave me there, because you know what? You teased me all the way and now I can help myself.
Is this too sexual for Eurovision? So I think the most recent kind of example act to compare this to would be Ali Alexander from the United Kingdom. That, to many people, myself included, leaned a little too raunchy. I think when you have men displaying sexuality, it can sometimes read as aggressive, unless it's delivered in a tongue-in-cheek way. And people with the boxing gear in that locker room, the hard surfaces, the facial expressions, the mimicked doggy-style sex, all of that seemed very aggressive and pornographic, and that made it slightly off-putting. Whereas this is also sexual, and yet I don't find it aggressive. I find it more liberated, more emancipated. It seems to carry a different theme. It's not about raunch. It really is about hedonism. Whereas I thought the Ali Alexander stage show just seemed a little dirtier, violent, maybe because of the boxing, because they were boxers and that had primed me to be in that space. It made me uncomfortable. This doesn't make me uncomfortable. I'm not like, it's a flesh pot, and I do think a lot of people, there will be conservative viewers out there who don't want to see it, but it's not as off-putting for me as the UK was. Let me tell you this, I don't think they're going to be 5 backing dancers. No, I think there'll be 4, because you need a backing vocalist doing some of the lifting here. I think that if she's going to writhe on the floor and be all sexual in a pot of honey, it's going to be hard to control her voice. And indeed, there have been questions about her voice in the past, so I think that they'll want that backing vocal support. At the same time, you do have pre-recorded backing vocals at Eurovision, and this song seems like it'd be very easy to hide any flaws because there's so much production and electricity and ambient noise in the second half of this song that, it's gonna cover potential flaws. I wanna read some comments from the Wee Wee Blogs website. This is Amon Storm. For whatever reason, it makes me think of that 90s late night show called Eurotrash, and I think this sums it up well. It is indeed Eurotrash, but in the best possible way. Sex glam, hedonistic and completely compelling, yet at the same time slightly disturbing and deliciously confusing. Let's get the 69th, wink wink, Eurovision Song Contest started with a bang, honey. Very well put. Yeah, it is glam. Sex glam kind of fits. There is something glamorous about this. Maybe it's the gold coloring, the go for gold. I think that when she has that cape, it's like elegance. She goes from sort of having sex to becoming the madam, woman in control. Also, I didn't catch the gender of the people around her because everyone, again, was in this honey, but it seemed just to be a celebration of human bodies, a celebration of people. Lala writes, if people said the other UMK songs were made for radio, this one is definitely made for Eurovision. I feel like this song shines live. Personally, I like Aina, Nightmares, and Puppy, but this might rise to the top if the live performance elevates the song like it did with Windows 95 Man last year. Yes, I think that if she took this video concept to the stage, like literally cut and paste, it could be very, very innovative, very, very interesting, and would do very well. I just hope it's more expensive than Cicciolina because the bear suits cheapened it. She had a throne and some bear suits. It just felt cheap. Jonas says, love it, my personal winner. After just one listen, it can only get better and better. I'm still not convinced it will beat Puppy though. Well look, if Puppy's given Puppy, Erika's given Doggy Style. This is like, there was so much emotion in that pool of honey. Leo M says, not sure about this. Erika will definitely bring a great performance, but the song itself doesn't grab me. With all the songs now released, my pick is Nelly Mähtulä. The Silly Potato says, this is everything. Erika Vikman definitely didn't disappoint. This will surely be a memorable moment on the UMK stage and hopefully the Eurovision stage. I don't know what the Finnish public thinks of her, but I think it's between her and Puppy. Can't wait to see the live performance and hear the public scream, Ish koma, ish koma. Will she come? Will she see? Will she conquer? Dimma says, honestly, nothing I was expecting, but if she would have brought a song like Cicciolina, would that have been new and exciting rather than a reprise of the old song? Really love this. The stage show shouldn't be too sexual, so it leaves a hint of mystery in it. Regardless, this is a song that will create a moment. Interesting. I'm not sure if this song lends itself well to leaving a hint of mystery. It seems to sort of rely on the sexual juju, the sexual energy, jus de sexe, to give it thrust, to give it power. Cece says, I really love this one. It's so bold and infectious, and I love the cheesiness of the abrupt ending. Poor Erika doesn't get to KOMME because her partner finished a little early. Yes, it risks being too racy, but being in Finnish, the lyrics will go over the heads of most viewers, since the core audience generally just tune into the final. I see Erika doing okay if she doesn't make the choreo too sleazy. We also saw what happened to Ollie Alexander. Besides, if Malta sends cunt, we can use that as a distraction. This is a very good point. There is a cheesiness, not just to the ending, but to the whole thing. It is high camp, and that's why I think it doesn't read as aggressively sexual as Ollie Alexander did. Virgistan says, she came! LOL, parental advisory, explicit content. Jokes apart, it's a fun song, very dynamic, the beat is cool, Erika's style totally. Now that the lineup is complete, I think my two favorite songs are Made Of and Sekaisin. Good luck, Finland. So look, I don't smoke, but after watching that, I feel like I need a cigarette. This video was scintillating. It was something else, and I want to watch it again. That's what's so exciting about this. At Eurovision, you need a visual moment. You need something boom. And they have so many opportunities for boom moments with this. It's just, again, immersive, sexy glam, and I think they could really work with this. You know, is this gimmicky? Yes. Yes, this is gimmicky, but it's also avant-garde, sort of. It could be read as art, and I'm sure the PR spin will give it that, you know, that sheen of sort of intellectual art. Hey, I'm here for it. Play the game. Erika, play that game.
You know, I mean, this is disco with a hard rock edge and, you know, powered by a bit of synth and, you know, surprising vocal runs as well. It's all in Finnish, which would give it strong local appeal. But I would imagine, actually, if this wins UMK, that there will be a revamp of some sort just to give it much broader appeal. When I was watching the music video, I was actually reading the lyrics on the UMK site because it was closed captioned. And yeah, this is pure lust. And this is about just owning your body and owning your sexual power and your sexual prowess and just unashamedly thrusting until you Shoot for the stars. You know, there's nothing wrong in it. Pleasure should be celebrated, not shamed. And Erika Vikman kind of just, owns it. This is unashamedly lustful. Ich komme means I'm coming. Give me a break. And even that in itself, you know, it's not I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Gotta let it show. Even the subtext of that is deeply sexual. But this is like, no. We're not holding bars here. We're not guarding the lyrics. We are letting it out, and we're letting it all out. And, you know, visually, she's all push-up bra and, you know, yeah. There is something very liberating about this. And there's something also quite empowering about it as well. I mean, we know the sexual liberation started in the 60s, but it kind of went into overdrive in the 70s. And the sound of Ich komme also, that you can hear 70s in there. Clearly in the 80s, it was at its peak, you know, before the AIDS crisis, and you can hear a lot of 80s influences there. And those flourishes are also present in how she executes the track. You know, sometimes a track, the lyrics of it can be like really quite daring, but you pull it back with visuals that, I'm trying to think of a good example. None come to mind at the moment, but the comment section, if you can think of a good example, you know, feel free to shoot, of a track that is just highly sexualized, but then it's Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That's a classic one. You know, Relax was banned everywhere, but actually, you know, through today's lens, actually it's not that daring. Can you imagine if this was released then? So yeah, Ich komme cranks it up. So Erika Vikman has been in, she's done UMK before. I think it was 5 years ago in 2020. And Cicciolina, of the two entries, which one do I prefer? Cicciolina, yeah. That had much more of a hook, and that can work fabulously as a radio entry. Actually, I've played it many times since then. Whilst I like this one, there's a part of me that feels like it just won't be staged in the way in which we've seen it. You can't have, you know, honey dripping on microphones, and you know, it'll have to be staged differently. And the staging here is so, the music video here is so ambitious. It'll be very difficult to replicate that on stage. And whilst Erika is a great performer, I mean, vocally, she is slightly held back. And there's a lot of production on here, which would also be quite difficult to replicate. But, you know, 5 years is a long time. And, you know, the performer that she was in 2020 could be a much muted version of what she is today. How does this track, it's the last UMK track to be released, how does it compare to the other 7? To be honest, I actually think it's pretty much anybody's game. All these tracks are good tracks, and yeah, I can see this winning. And I can also see it not winning. I'm not straddling on the fence here, but UMK is a really, really strong competition. Is it my favorite? No, it isn't. But you know what? We're gonna rank that in another video. But, you know, on a day when it's been a famine and I haven't had much titillation, this could actually inch a few steps forward. I mean, this is good. But it could be so much better. Eurovision is often about being very memorable, and if this advances to you, Basel, this will blow your socks off. I mean, this will be talked about pretty much all the way through to May, guaranteed. And we know Erika Vikman, I mean, her personal story in itself is headline news, even by today's standards. So to come out with this and what she's got in her back catalogue, you know, she talks about being depressed and being burnt out in the last couple of years. Well, you know what, girl? You bounced back. And you know what? Welcome back. We like what you're doing. So continue doing you, keep being you, and please, 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 open a Pinterest account.
All right, well, that's what we think. What do you think? Are you ready to KOMME with Erika Vikman? Do you think this song could win UMK? How would it do at Eurovision? Is it too sexy? Should there be less skin, less honey? Let us know here on Wee Wee Vlogs. And we'll see you later. Bye!
Follow Wee Wee Blogs on Pinterest and we will see you later.